good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, chefs. How are you today? Nicholas, how are you feeling?
Good, thank you.
Good, good. Welcome to your panel. Chef as Chief, Balancing Plates and Expectations. Before we begin, I would just like to express our appreciation, my thanks to the Images Group, especially to Amitabh Taneja and Bianca Noronha for this opportunity today. It is such an honor to be moderating this panel, this exciting, what will be an exciting discussion alongside our brilliant and talented chefs on this panel. Chef JP, you made it. Okay, so now we're all complete, our panel is complete. So as indicated by the title, the discussion today will zero in on balance and how all of you, chefs with varying and sometimes conflicting expectations foisted upon you by your various stakeholders, how you manage all of these while still producing good, great tasting food that we all love to eat. So let's kick off with a 2 to 3 minute elevator pitch, shall we say, about yourself, your restaurant, or your company. What's your mission? Tell us what drives you. Shall we start off with the gentleman at the very end, JP?
Oh, hello. There you go. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is JP Anglo. I am the chef of Kooya Filipino Eatery. It's a Filipino restaurant in Marina. We've been here for 2.5 years. My mission as a chef, as a Filipino chef, is to reintroduce Filipino food here in the Middle East. I know everyone has their experiences with Filipino food, and I guess just like in any cuisine, there are different facets of our cuisine and everyone's cuisine. So yeah, that's why we're here. We want to show you guys that side, so to speak. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, JP. Chef Avinash.
So very good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Avinash Mohan. So after many, many years in hotels, so I left. I was working with Emaar for quite some time. I was the executive chef of this hotel as well, many years ago. And before leaving hotel and hospitality as a work, I was heading the Expo 2020, the F&B for Emaar, the entire operations. Now I have ventured out, opened my own restaurants under the brand Hideout. I have one restaurant called Cochin Harbour, and another one called Rasam, and then a couple of events that we do. So that's what I do, and we are looking at something different called Hidden Health, which is a healthy concept that will be coming up soon. So that's a little introduction. Yeah,
Thank you, Avinash. Nicholas. Chef Nicholas.
Good afternoon. I'm Chef Nicholas Cuadrado. I work for Bateel International, and I look after the F&B. We have, by the end of the year, nearly 30 locations, all around the GCC. Before that, I was working out of London, New York, and Dubai, basically lifting out US brands from the US and dropping those into the UK market. And that's everything from fine dining to casual brands. My mission really with Cafe Bateel is to bring high quality gourmet food at scale. We still want to have that fine dining experience, but with volume. So that's what I've been working on over the last 4 or 5 years with Cafe Bateel. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef Nicholas. Chef Anahita.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anahita Gustaspi, originally from India, but my roots and ancestry is from Persia, Iran. So I come from a very small sect of people known as the Zoroastrians. I don't know if you know of them. And so basically, I've been professionally trained, worked in 5-star hotels, then moved to the UAE. While I worked in hotels, I also then had the opportunity to move on to the healthcare sector, So moved to the healthcare, which is completely different from hotel hospitality. Had the opportunity to look at the finer aspects of food and nutrition and how health and well-being helps you evolve and mature as well as heal as a person. From there, I had the opportunity again to move into BNI, or business and industry. So I was the regional chef for HSBC Bank in the UAE and Middle East. And currently, I'm working as the corporate chef for a private company which deals with ultra-high net worth individuals. And my food philosophy is that you are what you eat. Whatever you put in your body is what's going to come out. So you need to eat healthy, you need to eat clean, and it's not just eating quick meals, it's actually putting in the effort to cook the right kind of food for the right season for your body. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef Anita. You need to eat well. We need to eat well. I agree with that. And last but not least, Chef Aino.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yonan Katau. I am the head chef from Harbour restaurant. We are an Emirati restaurant with international influence. Harbour means welcome to our humble abode, and this is exactly the kind of feeling we want to give you once we welcome you to the restaurant. What sets us apart is, except our sustainability, is the fact that we are very proud to work with a skill studio. So as a restaurant, we have the opportunity to make everything in-house, from the furniture, the chairs, the tablecloths, the uniforms, the ingredients we source, the way we look at the past, and to stay true to the culture, to the history, to the traditions, but then see how we can innovate. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef Aino. And this is probably the most diverse panel that I've ever moderated. Each of you chefs come from different backgrounds, different cultures. Very quickly, shall we just touch on that? Chef Aino, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Romania. However, I worked in Italy, Spain, England for over 12 years, and then New Zealand, and now, since last year, Dubai.
So originally Romanian, but international.
So, yes.
And
Hi, I'm from India, as I mentioned before, and I've been in the UAE for the last 14 years. So this is home, and UAE is as international as you can get.
Nicholas.
So, my family are from Barcelona originally.
Okay.
My father's from Barcelona. My mother's English. I was born in Manchester, lived in London for 15 years, and I have worked in New York, London, Dubai for the last 15 years.
Amazing.
And I should mention that my family are restaurant owners. That's how I became a chef. My grandfather opened the first tapas bar in the whole of Manchester in 1956.
Wow, wow. Okay, Chef Avinash.
So I come from India as well, from a small state called Kerala.
Kerala.
It's the southernmost city or state in India, and with a very diverse culture, very diverse food habits in the state itself. So, and then during my work, I would say I've traveled across the globe. I was in Europe, Middle East, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia for a bit. So that's my
incredible.
little travel,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, like a little travelogue. JP.
I am originally from the Philippines,
Yes.
now based in Dubai. Like what Chef said, I travel the world through my job. Recently, I did a collab in New York and in Tokyo, and now I'm based here, and yeah.
So you're all global culinary citizens, if I can describe you that way. And my first question, we're going to touch on how your unique cultural heritage applies with your cuisine. So let me throw this question to JP first. JP, you grew up in Negros province, that is in central Philippines, a long way from Dubai. A lot of our audience here may not be familiar with Negros and Negrense cuisine. How would you describe your food at Kooya? Are there any Negrense influences there? And why do you think is this type of, shall we describe it as comfort food? Why is this meaningful to the community here?
Okay, where I'm from is considered the food capital of the Philippines. We have this dish called chicken inasal, which is marinated. It's chicken marinated in coconut vinegar, lemongrass, ginger, etc. It is apparently it was voted top 5 best chicken dish in the world. It's a very good introduction dish to non-Filipinos. Our style of cooking here in Dubai is sort of like, I guess we're adapting to where we are. All the ingredients we get from here. We only import one ingredient, which is achuete or achiote. which is a seed from Mexico. We have a lot of Spanish influences in our cuisine. Spanish, Chinese, Malay. So I guess during the galleon trade with Mexico and the Philippines, that's how we got anato.
Right.
So it's a very dominant flavor in our cooking.
Right, right. And thank you, JP. And Chef Avinash, Dubai boasts a plethora of Indian restaurants. How does your unique heritage come into play when you're differentiating Cochin, Harbour, for instance, from the rest of the restaurants in the marketplace?
So Dubai being, a city where there are a lot of Kerala restaurants as well. So it was a tough task for me to kind of differentiate from the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, there are almost like 2,000 plus Kerala cuisine restaurants in Dubai itself.
My goodness.
So it was definitely a tough call to start a restaurant again in the same cuisine factor. But then when I looked at the whole plethora of restaurants across the city, I found that nobody is doing food which is particularly from one little region. So that's the reason I picked up a cuisine from Cochin, or food from Cochin. So that's the reason the name Cochin. And then again, I went further down and I said, okay, Cochin is known for seafood. It's known for, really some typical recipes that we have there. So I said, okay, let it be seafood focused dishes from Cochin at Cochin Harbour. So that was the whole idea of me starting Cochin Harbour and bringing a difference to the many Kerala cuisine restaurants in Dubai.
That's really called capitalizing on a niche. You and JP, I think, are doing that supremely well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. And Chef Nicholas, let's talk about ingredient sourcing. With your extensive experience in luxury hospitality, you've worked with Jumeirah, for instance, sourcing quality ingredients is something that you're particularly obsessed about, I think, as you've mentioned. And it's a key driver in Bateel's culinary concept. So can you walk us through your procurement quality process? How are you ensuring that your costs are not sky high?
That's a good question, because myself, I am obsessed with provenance and quality of ingredients. You cannot produce a good meal if your ingredients are not great from the start. It's not possible. So we put a huge emphasis on going out to the market. And when I say market, I mean physically going. We're Mediterranean cuisine. So every year I do 2 huge trips around the Med.
Going to the destination, yeah?
Go to the original destination, Italy, Spain, south of France, Italian Riviera, and actually sourcing those ingredients from artisan producers, farms, even the fishermen. So I do a lot of supplier visits. Essentially, Bateel is, I don't know if you know, but we are date farmers.
Yes.
In Saudi we have 150,000 date palm trees where we produce high quality organic dates. So I have to align those values with the produce that we buy for Cafe Bateel and for Elan, which is our fast casual brand.
Yes. We can touch on Elan in a minute, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's quite an exciting job because that trip every year involves seeing and meeting many purveyors of fine food, and we get to taste those ingredients. We go up in the mountains, we see the cattle, we see the
farmers,
sheep, we meet farmers, and we really understand the process that goes into those products, the terroir, the soil that the plants are grown in. It's very important for us to have that level of quality and consistency of the product. And yes, it's a high cost item, and we do consolidate containers and bring those products direct from Europe.
I see.
Okay. How we manage it, we just charge a little bit more.
Okay. Thanks, Nicholas. And Chef Ainal, so at Restaurant Gerbo, this has a farm-to-table concept, correct? With a strong ethos and sustainability, yeah? How are you balancing sourcing authentic ingredients for an international menu, yet you are paying tribute to Emirati cuisine?
That's a very good question. I need to admit, I came from Europe, from Michelin star restaurants, and when I came to Dubai, I said how good the ingredients can be. I didn't think they would be of good quality. I'm very happy to say that I was wrong to discover that through the last year where I did a lot of research and development, I found some incredible suppliers. Actually, I think some of the suppliers, the ingredients you find here in the UAE available, like the tomatoes, the mushrooms, samphire, the fish available, and even the meat, it can easily match with the best countries that have a huge heritage when it comes to ingredients. For us, sustainability is, it has many aspects because as a chef, I'm tempted to speak about ingredients, but it's not just that. We are looking at, we make everything in-house from the furniture, the building itself, but also we look at the team. Often for sustainability, everyone says the produce, the packaging, the delivery, but there is another side to the sustainability, which is the way we value our team and what do we do for us to grow together and how we can help them. Okay. For example, at the moment, I'm trying to...
I'll throw that question at you
sorry.
later.
Okay.
Yes, that's okay. Thank you, Chef. Let me quote Chef Anahita. You mentioned something earlier, we are what we eat. You have a background in nutrition. I'm also a big believer in functional food. This serves as a powerful tool in nutritional resilience. Tell us about what you learned from your grandparents, this great story, and your previous work experience. You've had amazing work experience with not only luxury hospitality brands, but in the kitchens of the world's most celebrated chefs. How have you innovated and integrated this type of functional food philosophy into your culinary philosophy?
Okay, it's working. Hi. So yes, we are what we eat, and I believe in that wholeheartedly. It starts from actually the ingredients that you buy. And again, it's very important, and we all agree that that's the fundamental. But actually, it's 2 steps before that, and it's the farmer. We do not give enough credit to the people who actually put in the effort and the hard work to grow our ingredients. We need to do that. That is absolutely primary. It's the most important thing. From there on, we need to encourage them not to use as many pesticides. So to be able to pay a little bit more for that organic produce or for that produce which took that much little effort from their side to actually grow it without that pesticide or with that, with these stuff, sorry. To grow it without using what they need to do to grow them faster, because our needs as chefs, our needs as humans, has grown a lot for food and for the ingredients. Our population is increasing. However, having said that, when we talk about food, my grandparents, I'm giving their example, my grandmother used to cook certain vegetables for certain parts of the body, and it's coming back into fashion now, but it's always been there. It's just that we forgot what we were using. So beetroot is good. It's a great vegetable to have if you want to cleanse your body, to cleanse your blood, to bring up your platelet counts and things like that. We talk about moringa and drumsticks, which is the fruit of the moringa tree. That actually is very good for your backbone or your spine because the fruit actually resembles the spine. And each of our vegetables and what we eat has an impact on us and in our body. And for us to understand in today's fast-paced world that we need to give respect to what we are eating because everything now comes in a pill form or it comes in a ready-made bar. We don't spend that much time in preparing that ingredient or that dish.
Right.
And that is critical for us.
So thank you, Chef. I think I have to ask you for tips on how to use moringa because I actually have a moringa tree in my backyard here in Dubai and it's very fruitful. So innovation, let's talk about innovation. Chef Avinash, innovation is something you've embraced wholeheartedly at Hideout Group. How are you leveraging data analytics and AI to gain insights into your customers and how they behave?
So I was actually introduced to innovation and data analytics while I was at Expo, the Expo 2020. So we used a lot of data analytics over there. So from that experience, so we actually study a lot of consumer behavior or guest behavior when they come into the restaurant. So basically, we analyze our comments that we get on Google, the replies that go out. There are a lot of replies which is actually done using the AI.
Okay.
So there are chatbots on our website. If somebody is asking a question, can you send us your menu? So it's a chatbot which is automatically the AI, which is automatically sending the menu to them. So there is no human interface. So it recognizes that, yes, the guest is asking for the menu to be sent across to them, or where is your location? So it's automatically going to them. So these are little things that we do use in the restaurant. Now, we are also in the process of using AI for our waste management. So that I will come back.
We can touch on that in a bit, yes. Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah, AI is diverse. We can use that in multiple ways.
Okay, it's an enabler, definitely. Right?
Yes, it's an enabler.
Yeah.
And then definitely your social media. So we all know that restaurant industry, we definitely need to be part of some kind of social media because it promotes, it's a tool, the marketing tool that you use. And when it comes to marketing, there are a lot of things that you can use, you can do using AI.
Right.
So you have all the tools available there, whether you want to do a leaflet, whether you want to do a promotional calendar, or you want to do a promotional photograph. So all these things can be done using AI.
Okay. Thanks, Chef. And for Chef Nicholas, you've also embraced innovation over at Bateel. So tell us more about Bateel Elan. You mentioned this earlier. Tell us more about it, and how does it differentiate from Cafe Bateel?
Yes, so we actually created a new brand called Elan, which basically means quick in Arabic. And what it is it's, when we talk about innovation, we talk about technology, we wanted to create something that was a very small footprint, with not much back-of-house kitchen space, and then use the latest technology in terms of reheating technology to get that food out at high quality and high speed. And that's what we've done. We've taken it's a mini Cafe Bateel. So Cafe Bateel, as you know, is a full-service restaurant offering high-quality gourmet food. And then Elan is a much faster, more beverage-focused positioning. And yes, the technology in the back of house is considerably very brand new, really, and very
Cutting
innovative.
edge.
Cutting edge.
Yes,
It helps us deliver that same quality as Cafe Bateel, but in half the time.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks, Chef Nicholas. Now let's talk about the different hats that you all get to wear. Obviously, you have your chef hats. You have your chief hats, because you're all responsible for your various organizations that you run. You're responsible for your bottom lines. And some of you also have the hat of role model. Let me throw this question to JP, because JP, you're sort of perceived as an ambassador of Philippine cuisine here in the UAE. How do you feel with this perception, being perceived as a culinary role model representing the Filipino community? How do you balance the expectations of being that role model with expectations of being the chef and being the chief, the owner of your business as well?
Okay.
Different hats.
Yeah. We all learn from each other. I guess Dubai is a place where it's a melting pot. Everyone's not from here. We all learn from each other. Like in this discussion, we're listening to each other. I guess just being open-minded, being humble. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. If there's a problem, there's a problem. Like yesterday, a good friend of mine, he complained. He ate Monday. He complained about his a certain dish. So what I did, instead of I did call him personally.
Okay.
And then, but I use social media, like what Chef was saying. I use social media as an avenue by saying, hey, RJ, we heard you, now we fixed it. So then I posted the dish.
Okay.
So I guess open-minded.
Humility.
Listen.
Yes.
Listen to your people.
Yeah.
Listen to the people.
Yeah.
I'm not cooking for my ego, I'm cooking for my people.
Yeah.
And that's what Dubai taught me. At the early stage of my chef life, yes, of course, my ego kicked in. But now, really, it's more than that. It's my cuisine. It's our cuisine.
Yeah.
So there.
Thank you, JP. And Chef Anahita, you're also, I think you also have to wear that hat. Sometimes it's a heavy hat. I think, JP, you probably agree, right? That hat sometimes feels heavy on your head, being the role model or serving as an example or an ambassador. And Chef Anahita, you grew up in a very traditional Zoroastrian household. As I mentioned earlier, you've got this amazing background working in different kitchens of the most celebrated chefs in the world. And you realized that Parsi cuisine was moving away from traditionalism. How are you balancing expectations? Similar to JP, where there are expectations of you, and in your case, as a Parsi culinary role model, and as a woman in a male-dominated industry. How do you balance these expectations?
So we'll answer that in two parts. As a Zoroastrian, and bringing about the knowledge and bringing about the awareness about the cuisine and the culture, because not a lot of people know who Zoroastrians are. So I do a supper club, or I do smaller pop-up events on the weekends where people can understand what the cuisine is. I've also been very fortunate to be a brand ambassador and a chef for a pop-up in a hotel at the Conrad back home in India, where we did a whole festival and we had this entire 10-day event where we gave education to people, because as chefs, I believe it's also our responsibility to educate the palate. It's not only giving what the guest or the client wants, but it's also giving them that little bit extra of the unknown, because they will not know what different cuisine is. I mean, when Thai food got introduced to people, nobody knew that those flavors existed except for those of us who were in Southeast Asia, and now it's become this big thing. So has Japanese cuisine and all cuisine. So bringing about awareness, that falls on us. It's our responsibility as chefs, and obviously being from the same, from that background, knowing it the best way, that would be one. And the second one is being a female. Well, when I wear a chef jacket, I call it unisex. I'm unisex. That's the only way I can say it, because in the kitchen, you're a chef. There is no him chef or her chef. You're the chef. Yes. You need to be able to command that respect to run that kitchen, because there are no two heads. There's only one head, and that head rules. Am I correct, gentlemen?
Yes. And that passion really comes through. And Chef Ainul, you are particularly passionate about people and the community, and especially about achieving diversity, equity, and inclusion goals, DEI goals. Please share your thoughts on this, your best practices, how you care about the community and your people.
I think I need about 24 hours to talk about this. When it comes to the restaurant, we have actually at the restaurant a window of inclusion. So we want everyone to be able to come and enjoy what we are trying to do at Garbo. So one is, that is already something that is part of our DNA. When it comes to the team, also it's a very big thing, because we are from so many different countries, and it's scary to be in charge of them, and to understand that you have, in some way, you will affect their life and how you can help them grow. It's very important, and we are trying to do things together. From every single day we have an RBOK meeting where we are checking if how is everyone, how is the day going, or all of a sudden we realize we have a lot of an ingredient that maybe has to go to waste, and we brainstorm, because having so many different people around the table, it will generate often the best ideas. Or in the same time that we try to go a step forward, and for example, there is an organization that we're very proud to work with. It's for People of Determination, to see how we can do People of Determination is in Abu Dhabi. It's an incredible project where they are doing, I strongly recommend this to go to everyone, because people with certain disabilities, and they are doing the most incredible cheese and chocolates. Yes, it takes them longer. Yes, it's the process, it's a little bit different than what we have in the kitchen, but it's inspiring, because then it motivates us to do something to give back to the community. And that is something that is very personal to me, because I wanted to see, can we go and maybe plant a tree, go to a farm together, or go to an orphanage, or to the People of Determination, like I mentioned. I think it's the thing that gets me out of bed every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef. I know that's very inspiring. Let's move on and talk about sustainability. It's something we can't avoid talking about, especially the issue of food waste. Because according to Dubai Carbon, a consultancy here in the UAE, approximately 38% of the food being prepared daily in the country goes to landfill. And during Ramadan, this figure rises to as much as 60%. So Dubai municipality, for one, is already getting very serious about food loss and food waste reduction. Now, Chef Avinash, you're particularly immersed in this. You've championed a food waste reduction program and some upcycling initiatives in your company. Could you share more details about this? How are you measuring? How are you tracking?
So we kept it very, very simple, how to measure the food waste. It's a weighing scale next to your dustbin. Okay. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So we were actually having KPIs for the team, how much you're reducing, and based on that, they were actually given bonuses as well. Okay. So that was the step we took. And then we could actually see that the food waste was considerably reducing when every day in the morning after the breakfast buffet, we could see that the things that is produced is lesser and lesser, because people started realizing that towards the end of the buffet, although your chefing dishes are almost empty, you also have another way that you reduce the size of the chefing dish and refurb the whole thing more often. Yeah. So that's what we were doing. And then definitely we were using systems wherein it was automatically giving us, again, AI was being used. Mm-hmm. We were checking the food waste percentage on a daily basis. That was part of our morning briefings. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helps in reducing it further and further. Yes, there will definitely be a certain amount of wastage when it comes to buffet. But then we can also, once we analyze how much of wastage is happening, we can try to control the production. Okay. And as we all know in the world, especially for banqueting in the hospitality, yes, there is massive amount of wastage. Every year it's almost 700,000 tons of food. It's wasted after production. Yeah. So that is the kind of food wastage that happens in hospitality. Yes. So definitely these small steps we can take: portion control, yes, portion control, producing lesser, reusing whatever you can reuse, upholding whatever you can. Like, for example, if you have an excess bread produced, that definitely can be utilized to make breadcrumbs and utilize another, in an innovative way or whatever. Yes. I mean, it's not innovation, it's very simple, yes, but then we forget to do that. Yes, very practical tips. Yeah, yes, or we overlook. Yes. And then when it comes to sustainability, it is again saving, this food waste. True. So that's the reason, sustainability is equal to not wasting the food. Yeah. Sustainability can be very, very, very simple. Cost saving. It's just about, yes, switching off the light when it is, yes, not being used. Agree. It could be as simple as that. Agree. On that note, thank you, Chef. We're almost running out of time. So what I would like to do before we wrap up is I'd like to ask our chefs here to share their key takeaway food for thought to share with you, our audience. Let's say let's choose between two options. One is how you're achieving balance in your life, both as a chef and a chief, or what do you think is the most critical trend or development happening right now that has the power to transform and impact the way we all eat and consume our food. So choose between those two. What do you think is the key takeaway that you want our audience to walk away with? I will start off with you, Chef Ainal, and we'll start off in a reverse way from how we started. We started with JP earlier. This way, we will start off with you and we will end with JP. Chef Ainal, take it away.
I think reflection. I think the reason, for many people, everyone throws sustainability. Mm-hmm. This word is something that at the moment everyone says we are doing this or doing that, or often people at home say we cannot do anything about it. Okay. What impact can we possibly have? You simply have to look at an ingredient, or to look the fact that you're buying a huge amount of ingredients and they're getting spoiled, or you're not using them, or they get discarded in the bin, or simply that by using the tops of the carrots, you can make a pesto, or you can make a dressing or a sauce, or that you can freeze them because you will not lose your nutritional value. Yeah. So it's only up to us.
So to sum it up in one word?
Reflection.
Okay. Chef Elahita.
I would recommend that we all eat wisely.
Okay.
So eat in season and eat wisely. That's all I can say.
Excellent. Okay. Nicholas, Chef Nicholas.
I would definitely say the Mediterranean diet is definitely food for thought. It's been proven as one of the best diets in the world. And Cafe Bateel, obviously, it's a full Mediterranean menu, Mediterranean-inspired, Mediterranean ingredients. And yeah, this, from a health perspective, it's a great lifestyle.
Yep, and a couple of Mediterranean countries are in the blue zone area, right? Longevity and
That's
all that.
correct, yeah.
Yes, yes. Chef Avinash.
I'll just say that be healthy and be sustainable. And it's a very, very simple thing to do. As I said, switch off the light when you go out of the room. And then don't look at sustainability from a very complex point of view. It is not complex. It is not at all complex. I mean, we have definitely made it into something which is not achievable, and it is so big, and it's not. It's very, very simple. That's all what I would say.
Thank you, Chef. And Chef JP.
My takeaway would be, you know, we're all hospitality people here. And what we do, we serve people through food and through service. And may we have 1 or 100 branches, I think we should still give it our all. And every day we should remind ourselves that that is what we do and that is our purpose. Thank you.
That's a lovely way to wrap up. Very heartfelt. On that note, I would like to thank all of you, our very attentive audience here. And please, a warm round of applause for our panelists, our chefs, and our chiefs. Thank you. Shall we gather?